How's it gangin', dudes and dudettes? My name is Sean, and welcome back to a very exclusive Andrew Yang channel. And okay, so everybody else is making their videos about it. You know what I mean? So I guess I'll jump on the gravy train. Is it over for Andrew Yang? Is there a polling drought, and will his campaign diminish and fall to a grinding halt? My opinion is no. I'm just going to say that. We have some Emerson polling here, and Andrew Yang is at a 6% right now from November, and some of the polling requirements for January debate go back to November. Now, admittedly, there is a small narrow window where they're not accepting polls or releasing polls within this Christmas week, and then he had like 5 days after that, to like the January 10th to get it done. You know what I mean? But we've had a very narrow window before, and the Yang Gang always meets its goal. So we'll come back to this here in just a second, because this is pretty important. But first, the DNC tightens eligibility requirements on January debate. Remember when I told you guys a few videos back to be watching for whenever they say these are requirements for this particular debate, or these are requirements for this particular threshold or whatever, and then be very wary days before those polls are supposed to come out for them to change the rules. Well, they've done that. You know what I mean? They always do that. DNC tightens eligibility requirements. No, they change the rules. They say, okay, everybody has to do this to get here, and then boom, you know, here's the finish line. Now let's move the finish line toward. You know what I mean? Oh, you made the finish line. Let's move it. It's all corrupt. And Andrew Yang has been completely demonized from the very beginning. Worse than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders gets more. Yes, there is a Bernie blackout, but Bernie gets more coverage than Andrew Yang. Period. Yes, he's a bigger front runner. But honestly, Andrew Yang would have had a lot better chance if they would have covered him fairly. With an 11% poll that they didn't release in October, that would have catapulted him into at least 7, 8, 9% on average. Now, also, I'll get into his ads here in a second. His ads are actually going to be affecting these next few polls in this next January debate instead of the November one, because it takes a while for all these ads to actually get into the psyche of the people. So anyways, let's go ahead and read this, because this article kind of sums it up pretty good. So the debate field might be getting a little less crowded next month as the DNC announces new requirements for getting on the stage. CBS News reports that for candidates to appear on the January 14th debate, they must reach 5% in at least 4 national polls, or 7% in 2 polls in the early voting states of Iowa and New Hampshire, South Carolina, and Nevada. And additionally, the campaigns must also have at least 225,000 unique donors. Last Thursday debate, the final of 2019, was the first cycle to feature fewer than 10 candidates. It's also going to be a lot wider of a debate stage. Race isn't really that big of a thing to me, but a lot of people look at that and be like, well, you know, a lot of the far left or even moderate left people of the Democratic Party will say, well, where's the representation at? Because the left is championing that type of thing, right? So, but really, in at least 4 national polls, 5%. It's not that bad. Andrew Yang's already met one of them, and when all these polls come out, he should meet them, and I'll explain this in a second. But the DNC tries to do this drought. They try to do it. They try to stretch out this area where everybody's going to hopefully forget about him and stuff like that. What they should be doing is having polls come out directly after the debate, so you can see how the populace reacts to which candidate. Right? They don't want to do that because they know Andrew Yang would be killing it, so they have to artificially manipulate it to make it seem as if Yang isn't doing as well. So, according to the ABC News, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, Massachusetts, Elizabeth Warren, Minnesota, and then they go to the name of all the people who will be there and who has left, right? So, personally, I don't see what is gained from these new requirements. It feels like the DNC is artificially thinning the herd, and unfortunately, this has led to a debate field getting smaller and, well, wider. The debates are a good platform to allow each politician to state their case to the American public. Tightening the requirements is taking away choice from the general population, and instead of weighing it on a couple of states, the whole reason we have 45 is because there is a nonstop media coverage of everything he did. So, 45 is talking about Trump. Right, right. So some of the lower tracking candidates could have a message that resonates with a large swath of the country. They just haven't been given the best platform. Who wrote this article? Joe Huardo. Yesterday, buddy, you might be losing your job. I don't know. You're speaking some truth here, man. And normally when people speak truth in media, they lose their jobs. Look at Dylan Ratigan, and man, the list can go on and on and on. So it feels less like the people are given the option to make an informed choice, and more like the choice is being made for us by the overwhelming white state of Iowa. While it's unfortunate the media plays such a huge role in what we determine is electable, it's a fact that can't be ignored. And 2016 should have taught us anything. It's that anyone can become president if they're on TV long enough. Pretty good article, and it goes to state, the election is always rigged. It's always going to be rigged, and anybody who's making real change, who wants to make real change, who isn't bought and sold, will get pushed out this way. There's been, just look at my channel. My channel is a documentary of all the times the establishment has screwed Andrew Yang, and all these times lead up to him trailing lower than what he should be, but he's still rising, even despite all of that. And that's what scares. That's what scares the DNC. That's what scares the establishment. That's what scares the media. So let's get into it, shall we? Yang, on a national poll, December 15th through 17th, 2019, Yang is at 6%. What did they say he needed? Where was that at again? Up here. At least 4 national polls, or 7% in 2 polls. So this is 15th through the 17th. We still have some more polls to come out. Not much. I think it's like 6 or 7 polls that should be coming out, and he needs to make at least 3 or 4 of those polls. Now, if you look at 3 or 4 of these polls, that's technically a 29 to 32% chance odds of making the debates. That's not bad. People gamble on those odds a lot. The odds were smaller for him making this last debate. If it's a 30% chance, well, think about it. That's 3 coin tosses. 3 coin tosses, and let's say he picks heads, right? Well, only one of those 3 coin tosses have to land on heads, and he makes a debate. So these odds are not bad, as long as the DNC doesn't keep screwing with the rules. So, since the Emerson November poll, Biden has increased support by 5 points. Sanders lost 2 points. Warren has dropped 8 points. The base of Sanders supporters are young voters. He receives 36% support from voters under 50. Following him, along with his group, is Biden at 22%, Warren 12%, and Yang with 10%. And comparable, if you take percentages wise, let's say Yang was the exact same size as Bernie, he would have more young followers, believe it or not. So with 50 and over, Biden has been commanding the lead. Yeah, okay, we understand that. So Director of Emerson polling Spencer Kimball noted that Warren appears to be losing to Sanders with younger voters, Biden losing to Biden with older voters, making it difficult for her to secure a base. With less than 50 days until Iowa caucuses, the strategy of waiting for Sanders and Biden to fall is looking shaky. Okay, so the rest of all this is just covering the top few candidates. So Yang's already at 6%. He's growing, and he's only gonna make a few. Like I said, that coin toss. All you gotta do is land on heads one time, 1 out of the 3 times, and guess what? You're gonna make it. So have no fear, guys. We will be on that debate stage. Make sure you keep donating. Make sure you keep canvassing. Get out there. I'm not sure if Illinois has hit their signature mark yet, but if you're living in Illinois, what are you doing? Get out there. So Yang is actually doing extremely well, considering everything that's stacked up against him. Warren is completely fallen, and Yang, I think there's a recent, Yang has passed Buttigieg in a couple polls. So make no mistake that Yang should be on there. Steyer will probably be pretty close, and it would take a miracle for Gabbard to be on there, Tulsi, but it could happen. It definitely could happen if she doesn't boycott them, right? So yes, entrepreneur Andrew Yang is at 6%, rounding out the top 5. Man, we've come a long way from nothing, guys. We've come a long way from nothing. Also, I got my Christmas card from Andrew Yang in the mail, so you guys make sure you check that out. If you've donated to him or something like that, you should be getting a Christmas card in the mail. So that it is what it is. I'll also be, I guess, donating my merch sales to Andrew Yang. As soon as I'm able to get some money put into PayPal and then switch it over to him. Oh look, Andrew Yang surpasses Buttigieg in favorability, 5% national. Hey, see, we're doing it, guys. We are doing it. So I had to get out here. I had to make that video title. You know what I mean? I had to do it because everybody else is like, "Oh no, it's good crunch time again." But don't worry, the Yang Gang always meets its goals, and we always will. And there's nothing you can do to stop us. There really isn't. The only thing, well, I mean, I guess there's plenty you could do to stop us, and y'all are doing that to stop us. But we're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting. And even if he wasn't on the debate stage, you really think the Yang Gang's going to stop, dude? You come to a Yang Gang, and you'd be like, "Oh, who are you going to vote for, Andrew Yang? Oh, well, who's your second pick, Andrew Yang? Oh, well, if you had to pick somebody else, who would it be, Andrew Yang?" Like, come on, don't. Even if he's not in those states, people who's Yang Gang in those states are going to write him in. They're not just. We don't follow the party narrative. We don't follow the party line. We don't sit here and go, oh, I'm not going to. I'm going to vote for a lesser of two evils, or I'm going to vote for somebody. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're going to vote for Andrew Yang. You know, of course, don't get me wrong. If Andrew Yang, if he endorses somebody, if something were to happen and he did drop out and endorse somebody, I would cover that person favorably. But make no mistake, we're Andrew Yang. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is, guys. Okay. And I want to make this statement right here. I might make a video about it one day. But if Andrew Yang doesn't become president, and he stays prominent in the political field, you know what I mean, and tries to keep going on stuff like that, I'll reach out and I'll see if we can't create a third political party called the Math Party. What do you think about that, guys? We could do that, right? You know what I'm saying? We put our own candidates up. We put our own Andrew Yang up. He'd run under his own third party. That would be kind of cool, though, wouldn't it? Anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm just spitballing here at this point. But don't worry, guys. We're fine. Everything's going to be okay. Like I said, it takes 3 coin tosses for him to hit the coin toss 1 time. Those are good odds. So anyways, have no fear. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Merry Christmas.